You're still running the AKS-74U fast mid-wipe, this gun quietly replaces it and does everything better. Today we're breaking down the NL505, why it's taken over the 505 meta, how to get it efficiently, the ammo you should be running, and 3 builds you can pivot to right now, depending on how sweaty you want to be. Now before we even get into builds, how do you actually get this? Mid-wipe, your first consistent access is the flea, like anything. Usually sitting a little over 200k. That's the fastest way in, but the real value play is skill level 3. The Ram bottle gives you a fully kitted NL505 that's basically raid ready. The moment you insert it, press it. Optics, solid internals, already there. When you price out the parts, the value is obvious. Once you hit skill level 4, you can buy the base gun outright, and that's where the weapon truly opens up. From that point on, this stops being a special pick and becomes a mainline option for many. Now here's the catch. This gun only feels broken if you feed it the right ammo. The NL505 runs, obviously, 505, which gives you flexibility, but you still need to be deliberate. PP and PS are fine early and mid-wipe. They're easy to find, decent penetration, and totally usable if that's what you've got, but it's scav ammo. Once you're fighting armored players consistently, BT and BP are where things start to feel reliable. But the standout, and the reason this gun beams the way it does, is 7N40. You guessed it. After completing mechanics calibration quests, you can buy it, and fundamentally changes how the NL505 behaves. Lower recoil, better accuracy, and reliable performance against class 4 armor means your follow-up shots land before your opponent even finishes aiming. Now if you have PPBS, it mixes really well. If not, BT, BP, BS are all completely fine substitutes to get the job done and pen higher class armor than the 7N40 can. Now this is where the NL505 completely pulls away from the AKS, because the builds actually change how the gun plays. The AKS-74U has good builds, but the NL505 has options. We're keeping this to 3 core builds to keep things tight, and each one exists for a specific reason. If you only had to copy one thing from this entire video, that starts here. This is going to be your easiest pivot off the AKS-74U. The skill level 3 bottle version requires almost no thinking. Buy it, you insure it, and you go. It's suppressed, it's scoped with the voodoo, it's controllable, and it's immediately usable for mid-range fights and questing. If you want consistency without min-maxing or thinking, this build does exactly what you need it to do. This next version is where the gun stops being convenient and starts being a problem for other players. This is the build I run the most. Shorter barrel, ergonomics, focused pistol grip, and a foregrip tuned for control instead of pure recoil chasing. You keep recoil manageable while gaining faster ADS and better handling in real fights, not just on the range. This build works everywhere. Customs, streets, labs, my cousin Vinny's bar mitzvah, you forget about it. Now if you're asking what should I actually use, this is actually the answer. Alright, now let's make it a little boring in the way that wins fights. We got the laser beam. This build is about stability. Longer barrel, recoil focused handguard, and a foregrip setup that trades a little handling for absurd control. Now the ergonomics stay usable above 50, but the gun barely moves during sustained fire. This is the setup you run when you expect back-to-back engagements, you're doing an anchoring position for the team, or you just want the gun to behave the same way every single time. I didn't plan to include this next build, but it worked out well enough that I have to show it. We got max ergonomics, minimum compromises, and borderline ridiculous ADS speed. It's loud, a little unhinged, and you will always be the first one aiming. Want to kick it up to that next level? Then add the suppressor with RPK mag, the best quiet spray and pray gun you can buy in 505. maps like Labs or Labyrinth, this is genuinely viable and slightly terrifying if you're shooting down Eagle Link. So here's the real question. When does this replace the AKS-74U? The NL505 isn't just another 505 gun, it's a replacement like I mentioned. If you love the AKS-74U for its handling and reliability, this is the natural evolution once you hit mid to late wipe. It handles late game ammo better, deeper modding options, and builds that actually change how the gun feels instead of just the numbers. This is one of those few 545 weapons this wipe that still feels future-proof in a way. Now if you're already running it, drop your build in the comments. If you're still clinging to the AKS, this might be a sign. Now as always my pack, you have a howling good night, and I will see you howling for the next one.